The sound of jackhammers and chainsaws is common when you walk past the Union as crews work to renovate the building. Tiger TV's Charlie Piles gives us an inside look at the construction of the Union and the Union Theater.
Today's LSU upperclassmen may remember the day when their fee bill got a little bit bigger because of the Union renovation project. However, students may not know how the renovation idea came about in the first place. The catalyst for the entire project was right here, the LSU Union Theater.
It's where the whole planning started, was with the fact that the theater had to be renovated.
First opened in 1964, Dare says the Union Theater originally had little to no maintenance budget. By the time it shut down to begin renovation, the facility suffered from major leakage problems.
I can remember the band department, Dr. Witt, standing there in front of in the rain and pouring down on top of him as he's at the podium. It was pretty bad.
The theater was also extremely inadequate in the areas of sound and lighting. Technical director Deanna Gaharin was frustrated by the limited equipment options she could offer theater clients.
Our old sound system was mono, it wasn't even stereo. And so we're going to have a stereo sound system that's like, woo!
We had a very inadequate lighting system.
The theater's light and sound systems will go digital with brand new boards and dimmer racks, along with a much more accommodating power source. It's a full makeover inside and out.
All of this will be gone. The glass will be out here. Glass wall will be out here. That'll be open with just a railing.
A new lobby, box office, and coat check will make the facility more welcoming. Also included are additional bathrooms along with 2 newly installed elevators.
The main changes here in the auditorium is going to be the raising of the ceiling. They've taken out the old ceiling and they're going to put a new one in clear at the top underneath the actual roof of the building. So we'll have better acoustics because it's a higher box. And then in the auditorium, we're going to get all new seating.
New theater seats will be bigger in size and fewer in number. The theater inspired the entire Union renovation, but after a delay in schedule and a 52% increase in construction costs, the theater will finish last place as the final phase of the project. Reporting for Tiger TV, I'm Charlie Piles.
The student union fee has increased from $10 to $60 a semester to pay for the renovation. The Union Theater should be completed in the spring of 2010, a year after its original completion date. Still to come on Newsbeat, Alexandra Cranford takes a look at the weekend forecast.
And it was an all-out brawl over a bingo game. Wait till you hear who was involved and why they were fighting.
But up next on Newsbeat, did you hug a tree yesterday? We have a wrap-up of yesterday's Earth Day festivities. More Newsbeat after the break. Welcome back to Newsbeat. America's first Earth Day celebration happened nearly 40 years ago, and last weekend Baton Rouge held its 20th annual festivities.
Tiger TV's Liz Shackelford shows us how LSU students party like it's their Earth Day every day.
On Wednesday, the Environmental Conservation Organization, or ECO, joined 15 other student organizations to host LSU's 4th annual Earth Day celebration. The eco-friendly activities, including a solar-powered stage, helped educate students on the impacts of making small steps towards sustainability. Newly elected SG Vice President Martina Schurman also made an appearance at the event, speaking on behalf of students changing attitudes about the environment.
To say that students are ready to go green with the passing of $5,000 for more recycling bins on campus, which is enough.
ECO also announced the winners of the National Unplugged competition, in which residence halls competed to see who could save the most energy in a month. Residents in East Campus apartments managed to reduce their energy bills by 35%. Overall, the residence halls managed to slash their bills by 18%, saving the university $13,000.
It was an incredible success, and next year I think we're going to make it campus-wide, not just the res halls, but all the offices.
Sustainability is a goal for students of all backgrounds and political affiliations.
You know, we're seeing a huge shift in consciousness where people are getting really caring more and more about environmental issues.
You know, despite your opinion on climate change, we have to be responsible with our resources. Energy, water, natural resources, as well as economic resources. So that's here to stay.
For Tiger TV, I'm Liz Shackelford.
Last semester, student initiatives helped create the Office of Campus Sustainability within the Facility Services Office.
We're joined now by Alexandra Cranford with weather. Alex, the weather is beautiful outside, but the heat is becoming very unbearable lately.
I know the highs are really getting up there this week, aren't they? The good news is that we'll probably see a lot of sunlight for the weekend. I'll have more coming up next here on Newsbeat. Welcome back to Newsbeat. I'm Alexandra Cranford. Well, it's been a beautiful couple of days here in the southeast. We've kept hold of that high pressure, and it's just making things so clear and sunny out there. Temperatures throughout the rest of the region are getting pretty high, just like here in Baton Rouge. Look at New Orleans and Lafayette, a couple of degrees lower, but nearly as hot as we are here in Baton Rouge. Our high today got up to 85 degrees, and once again, those skies are staying clear. That sun has been shining all day long, and from what I've seen, people are really starting to enjoy it. I saw people out there on the parade grounds, people sleeping on the grass, so I'm glad that people are taking advantage of how pretty it is. Tonight will be another pleasant evening. We'll get clear skies and a slight breeze. Of course, don't worry about bringing any umbrellas, even any jackets with you tonight. It'll get right down into the 60s, but that's as low as we'll go. We won't dip down into the 50s like we did earlier this week. And for tomorrow, more gorgeous weather is headed our way. We'll get a high in the mid-80s, a slight breeze blowing in out of the south, and a lot of sun too, so it'll be a great way to kick off the weekend. And after Friday, nothing much will change. Temperatures will stay the same, and the sun will be strong out there throughout the weekend. There's a low pressure system that could reach us by Tuesday, bringing a chance for some rain, so we'll keep an eye on that. But this weekend will be just about perfect. I know you've probably got a lot to do as we wrap up the semester, but make sure you get out there and enjoy this great springtime weather if you get the chance. And that's it for weather today. Here's Kristen with sports.
Thanks, Alex. Coming up, several of your LSU sports are in action this weekend. We'll tell you who next. But first, last night was special for the baseball team as they took on ULL. We have the results when Newsbeat returns. Welcome back to Newsbeat. The LSU baseball team lost their first series this past weekend, dropping them from the top ranking to the 6th slot. The Tigers hope to use 2 midweek games to help get them back on track. Starting with Tuesday night, LSU hosted the opponent from just down the road as the Tigers held on to defeat Southeastern 6-5. Ryan Schimpf and Blake Dean blasted back-to-back home runs in a 5-run third inning to lead the way for the Tigers. Both Schimpf and Dean finished 1 for 4. Jared Mitchell added a 2 for 3 performance, and Ben Alsop got the win. Moving on, it was an emotional Wednesday night as state rivals LSU and ULL honored Wally Pontiff Jr. in Metairie at Zephyr Field. The Wally Pontiff Jr. Classic win goes to the Tigers with a final score of 10-6. Blake Dean continued to tear it up, going 2 for 3 with a homer and 2 RBIs. DJ LeMahieu added a 2 for 4 2 RBI performance. LSU will return to conference play this weekend versus Auburn. Another team looking to forget last weekend is the 19th ranked LSU softball team. Lady Tigers were swept over the weekend and were hoping to bounce back against McNeese State last night. It was the last non-conference game for LSU as they lost to the Cowgirls 4-3. Kaylee Flell blasted a 3-run homer, but it was not enough as she finished with a 1 for 3 performance but still received the pitching loss. Rachel Mitchell contributed, going 1 for 3 as well. The Lady Tigers will finish their home season this weekend versus South Carolina. The semester is coming to a close, and so is most of the sports season. Starting with the number 23 LSU women's tennis team, All-SEC first-team selection Megan Falcon looks to lead the Lady Tigers into the postseason, starting with their conference tournament. LSU opened tourney play versus Ole Miss this afternoon at 12:30 in Arkansas. The men's tennis team also began their SEC tournament versus South Carolina this morning at 11. The track and field team is also headed into an important weekend as they wrap up their regular season at the annual Penn Relays Carnival. The 115th races are off this afternoon at the University of Pennsylvania and will continue until Saturday. Saturday's action will be broadcasted on ESPN2 from 3 to 5 Central Time. And of course, both baseball and softball will be playing in weekend series. The baseball team will be hosting Auburn and the softball team will be hosting South Carolina. Finally, an update on former LSU wide receiver Demetrius Byrd, who was in intensive care following a car accident in Miami over the weekend. The latest word is that Byrd is now alert and responsive to both his doctor and mother. He's expected to make a full recovery. Well, that's all your sports news this afternoon. Here's Jordan with entertainment.
Thank you, Kristen. Coming up in entertainment, I'll tell you what movies are making their debuts this weekend. Plus, everybody's favorite boy band is hosting at an award show. Can you guess who it is? Or will you just have to wait until after the break? It's your lucky day. Entertainment is next on Newsbeat.